It's the Brad and John Show.
It is the Brad and John Show. Today's date is the 24th. Is that right? It's today the 24th of November. Is that right, John? Did I get that right?
Yeah, we're only a week away from December, Brad. That's the way the calendar works.
God, crazy. Okay, we get into the B block, which is what we're in right now, the Bravo block. And what do we do in the Bravo block, John?
It's number 3. Oh, wait.
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
Boy, you were singing right with her that time. One more time. Here,
Yeah.
Catch it again. Do it one more time, John.
It's time for Brad's Top 3.
That was pretty damn good. And we start off with,
It's number 3.
John, I found a website over the weekend that, and you probably already know about this, but have you ever heard this website called heyjackass.com?
No.
Okay.
Does it just have a picture of Brad Hildebrand?
No. Go on your website, okay? Go on your computer right there.
Now, is this safe, or am I going to get some sort
Oh,
of
no.
disease
This is a legitimate, and what it is, it's a site that's giving, it's like a data site for the city of Chicago. And like, for example...
Oh, I see it. Yeah, it gives a quick overview. Sorry to interrupt. It gives a quick overview of number, shot and killed, shot and wounded, total shot, total homicide.
Right. And it gives graphs. It's got bar graphs and pie charts of a matter of fact.
And you can buy T-shirts, sweatshirts, and other stuff that shows the mayor with a big clown nose.
Right. And it's got, did you see the graph or the 30-day stupidity trend? Have you seen this?
Yes, I see it right now.
It's got all this stuff, and it's got like the dates, and it's got not only like here's the pie chart where it shows so far 30-day stupidity test. There's been of the shootings in Chicago, 83% have ended up in wounded victims, and 17% have been killed, and it goes day by day. So in other words, if you look at the bar graph, it shows is that like a teal kind of blue? That's the number of people shot, wounded, and then the red is on top of that. That's the number of people killed. So I heard this over the weekend. I thought to myself, okay, and then get this. Then it goes back to 2024. It says, and here it says, when isolated incidents meet kids will be kids with a dash of demonizing our children is wrong, and a soupcon of, what is soupcon? S-O-U-P-C-O-N?
I don't know what that is.
A soupcon of silly decisions, and you'll end up with big cities have crime. Okay, it shows on here 2024 weekend tally, 4 killed, 10 wounded. 2023 weekend tally, 2 killed, 12 wounded. 2022 weekend. This is going by weekends, and then it goes into specific dates. Friday 11/21, 4 p.m. And it shows all the shootings and stuff like that. And get this, and it says this one says $10,000 reward for tips in downtown shootings that left 1 dead, 8 wounded after Christmas tree lighting. That was just last week. I mean, this site is updated daily, and then it's got, did you see the 2025 Chicago shot clock? Did you see this?
No, I didn't, and I just X'd out of it because I wanted to save computer resources here. Excuse me, but what does the shot clock look like?
Right now, through 11/21, a person is shot every 4 minutes and 19 seconds, and a person is murdered every 19 hours and 3 minutes. This is the current Chicago shot clock. And then it shows all the different, and then he goes, I shouldn't laugh about this, but 2025 shot placement. Head, 94 killed, 65 wounded. Chest, 81 killed, 81 wounded. Back, 23 killed, 102 wounded. Abdomen, 17 killed, 86 wounded. Face, 14 killed, 41 wounded. Neck, 13 killed, 24 wounded. Side, 5 killed, 38 wounded. Other unknown, 85 and 1,013. I'm going like, holy crap, this is unbelievable.
Now, what I find fascinating was the graph that showed the victims and assailants by race.
It's just bizarre. It's the whole thing. And apparently, these are all legitimate statistics. Someone is grabbing the crime reports and turning them into this website and just essentially, what would you call this? We talked about this. This is like the data-driven kind of people that do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, almost like data journalism or data farming, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
It's kind of surprising that no one did this during Tashara Jones's term, don't you think?
Well, I'm sort of surprised there's not one from St. Louis, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, ready for number 2?
Yeah, give it to us, Brad.
It's time for Brad's number 2. It's time for Brad's number 2.
A local story, John. Have you seen the Rawlings gold glove on top of the Westport Gold Tower? Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, I've seen the story. I haven't physically seen it in person, but I've seen the story.
For those of you who don't know, Rawlings Sporting Goods, their headquarters in St. Louis, they used to be out in Fenton, and they moved. I guess they're in actually in the Gold Tower out at Westport, and they have on the top of the building, and this, I thought this was like just temporary, but it's permanent. They have a gigantic gold glove on top of the Westport building. If you're driving along 270, you can't miss it. I think the thing's like 30 feet tall. And there's a video I put on my Facebook page of the company that I think did the work on the thing and did the construction of them lifting up there with the crane, the whole bit. It's really cool. And I am glad that a company is headquartered here in the St. Louis area. They're not in the city of St. Louis. Once upon a time they were. And I'm glad that a company is proud of the fact that they're here and would show something like this, you know, sort of like unique. And it's one of those things that I think is going to be one of these St. Louis icons. People say, have you ever seen the Rawlings gold glove, you know, on the building? Now, I have a little bit of experience with Rawlings because at one point in time they sponsored this very radio station. I don't know if you know this or not, but they got, at least they think it's still out there. They have a big distribution center in Washmo, and once a year they would buy advertising from us. Once a year they would rent like a big box kind of retail location that was like vacant, sort of like a Spirit kind of deal where they'd come in like a pop-up store, and this was like one weekend. And what they would do is they would have all their stuff out of the warehouse that they weren't using anymore, things that had been discontinued, shirts and things like that maybe had been, you know, blemished or something like that. The screen printing didn't look 100% correct and stuff like that. Plus, they would have baseballs and bats that were used in spring training. And the cool thing was, I used to take my oldest son here all the time. The cool thing was they would have, I don't know if this guy's still around, they would have this trailer that would set up, and the guy would make baseball bats. This was the guy that would do the custom baseball bats for the major leaguers, and he would literally show you how it's done. He had a lathe, and he would cut the wood down and put it on the lathe and the whole bit. It was pretty cool. So I say thank you, Rawlings, for still being a part of the St. Louis area, and I think your gold glove is super cool, and I think you've created a new St. Louis icon. What do you think of that, John?
I love it, Brad. And until you mentioned the warehouse sale, I had forgotten that one year as a child, I attended, the Rawlings warehouse sale. And all I remember about it, Brad, is it was out in a parking lot. And I think I got batting gloves, and I may have purchased a Rawlings jersey or two.
It was a cool deal. I don't think they do it anymore, but we advertised it because they'd move it around. I remember a couple times there was a place on St. Charles Rock Road near Northwest Plaza. They had it, and there was some cool stuff. I mean, and some, you know, like one of a kind of stuff. And not only that, they had the glove, they had the bat guy there. One year they had the glove guy. They had the glove guy who hand did the gloves for all the professional baseball players. And because Rawlings is still huge in baseball, I don't know if they're that much in other sports or not, but they're still, obviously they sponsor the Rawlings Gold Glove Award, and that's what the big glove out there at Westport is. Okay, we ready for number one?
Yeah, give it to us, Brad.
And now, big finish, Brad's number.
John, I'm going to exercise my two useless college degrees, my bachelor's degree and my master's degree in journalism, and I'm going to make a commentary on a court case that's going on today. Do you by chance know the court case I'm referring to?
I do not. Does it have to do with Alfred Montgomery?
No, it has to do with the Associated Press suing Donald Trump. Do you know the story?
Oh, what's this about, Brad?
I saw the video over the weekend. I thought to myself, okay, this woman is wound too tight. She's the executive director and the director of the news department at Associated Press, okay? This stems from the fact that, and if anybody who's not in the media business, will not know about this, but Associated Press, which once upon a time was a much more important entity than they are today because they were the ones that gave most of the news to the newspapers, to the TV stations, to the radio stations, that kind of stuff. And they had tons and tons of money because they had a monopoly. Yes, UPI was their competitor, but UPI was never as big as Associated Press. They have what's called the AP Style Book. Are you familiar with this, John? We've talked about this before,
Oh,
right?
yeah, very much so. It was a Bible for folks in communications.
Right. Did you ever use it?
No, but I had coworkers who had a copy on their desk at their fingertips. Yeah, it was the official proper way to write.
Right. And essentially, John, I'm going to lead you into this. I'm going to be Brad Hildebrand in Judge Thornhill's court, and I'm going to lead you into this. I would say, John, so in other words, what the Associated Press was doing was they were telling you how to write the news. Is that correct, John?
Yeah. It was the official handbook. They positioned themselves as the authority on if you need to abbreviate a state name or you're not sure where to put a comma, follow the AP Style Book.
Right. So the AP got into a fight with Trump when Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. The Associated Press does not recognize that. They essentially say, no, we're not going to recognize that. We are going to still, in our AP Style Book, refuse to call it the Gulf of America. And if there's an AP story where there's an oil rig that caught on fire in this body of water south of Alabama or south of Florida or south of Louisiana, it's not the Gulf of America, it's the Gulf of Mexico. So when the AP people refused to change the name in their style book and refused to use Gulf of America, Trump banned them from the White House and from Air Force One. He would not allow them into the White House or Air Force One. So therefore, the case is going, I don't know if it's going to the Supreme Court today, but it's going way up the ladder. It's going to some 3-judge panel in some district court or something like that, some big federal court. They are suing to essentially, they're claiming that their First Amendment rights are being violated by not having access to the White House and Air Force One. Now, John, do you see that their First Amendment rights are being violated? Because they can still write whatever the hell they want. And in this case, they are writing whatever they want because they're saying, we're not going to call it the Gulf of America. We're going to call it the Gulf of Mexico. Isn't that?
Yeah. So they're proving their own point. However, I think Trump should allow them to be on Air Force One. He should invite them to all the press conferences. And the president should give AP reporters the same treatment he gives ABC News and Bloomberg, where he should call them out and he should belittle them.
Fake news.
And treat them like something stuck to the bottom of a shoe.
Right. Fake news. See, to me, the irony of this is the lady who, if you watch this video, can't remember her name, she's very indignant about, this is violating our First Amendment rights. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, to a certain extent, by utilizing the AP Style Book, aren't you violating people's rights by saying, this is how you should say it, and you can't?
Well, they're positioning themselves as the authority. I see your argument there, Brad. The height of my adoration for the Associated Press came after the Saint George Floyd riots in 2020, when within a month, in June 2020, it was right around George Floyd, they said they would begin capitalizing the word black and not ever capitalizing the word white, because black people have a shared culture and have been discriminated against, and white people have no culture, I'm paraphrasing, and have not been discriminated against.
John,
so black is proper, white is not.
You make an excellent point. And that was one, I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that. And that's a perfect example of the fact that we're the Associated Press and this is what you should do. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so did they also capitalize Latinx or Latinx or whatever? I mean, the thing is...
No, but they had a position on indigenous people in the right way you're supposed to refer to Indians. And they said you have to call them feather Indians. And then folks from India, you call them dot Indians.
Didn't at one point in time they say you have to call them dot heads? Isn't that what they said or something like that? See,
Brad, now that would be borderline offensive.
See, this is my point. My point is that they got their panties in a wad over this. And to me, the hypocrisy of this is just mind-boggling because in one point they're saying you're violating our freedom of press, our First Amendment rights, but they are essentially saying, hey, do things our way, or it's like my way or the highway kind of thing. Don't you think, John?
Yeah, and I just looked it up. The woman's name is Julie Pace.
Yes, that's her. That's right.
And she updated the AP style book to say she doesn't have panties. She's sponsored by Maidenforms. So you have to either say Maidenform or you have to say Lane Bryant undergarment.
Oh.
I haven't seen her, but let's stereotype, Brad.
No,
I'm guessing she's a Lane Bryant type.
I'm looking up the AP style book right now. Oh, there's a third entry under her. It also says Commando. So one of those three.
Brad, that's disgusting for a woman like that.
Okay, we have to take a break. By the way, Mike Odd, an info dude, corrected me. He said, I've been without John for 6 days when you took your vacation time. So.
Oh, is that right? Was
Yes.
that a whole? Yeah, I guess so, because we would have included the weekend. Thank you for noticing that, Mike. That's a good statistical fact. I think that's the longest we've been apart, Brad.
Info dude is always on top of stuff. Okay.